everybody.
Let me make sure that I have everything like framed, because like the frame's messed up too. 1 second. Okay, that's good. Is it higher or lower? No, it's not. Okay, just a second. There, because like yeah, I had to resize it for the Twitch thing. Okay, let's see what he says. The rumors hit you that you've been to the hospital. No, I have not been to the hospital, man.
It's Az here from HeelVsBabyface with emergency Az number 37. The Q&A between Ian and Dickbag has just ended, and I can't believe I'm going to say this.
Did he call him Dickbag?
Ended, and I can't believe I'm going to say between Ian and Dickbag has just ended, and
Okay.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but Blizzard have addressed everything. Absolutely everything in this Q&A, and this is unbelievable. They have addressed the outside world problems and the fact that there's nothing to do. They've addressed the fact that Mythic Plus, Dungeoneering, and Raiding are the only ways forward in terms of progression for your character. They addressed the fact that island expeditions are... No, it was just another shit show.
It wasn't that bad. I mean, like, was the Q&A that bad? I mean, if you guys have to say, I don't know if it was that bad.
How much time can you waste talking about Azrite armor? The answer is, watch a Blizzard Q&A. Holy crap. Right, so this was an hour-long Q&A, and if you're expecting me to break it down bullet point by bullet point, that's not going to happen, and I'll tell you for why. Mostly because the notes start getting very sarcastic the further the Q&A go on.
He took notes.
To be perfectly frank,
I used to never do that on my videos ever. I would just ramble on for 20 minutes.
I zoned out. I started thinking about birds and sunshine and rays of sunlight coming through the... Just gone. But I'll tell you one thing. Woo! Do these boys know how to talk about Azrite armor? Because out of this 60-minute Q&A, they spent 21 minutes. 21. That is the age of consent to drink in America. And it felt like...
That's a really weird way to look at it.
21 minutes talking about different facets.
You only need to be 21 minutes old to drink.
Which we've gone through on the forums. So, and also the fact that Ian probably repeated himself multiple times during this 21 minutes. The crowd were laughing. I was laughing. It was hilarious to watch because, oh my god, what a... Right, so 21 minutes on Azrite armor. Done. We then had 6 minutes on tank balance. Now, I haven't broken everything down by minutes because I was playing that game and then I got bored. Because I'm trying to make my own fun watching this. It's it's an hour-long comedy show with not a lot of laughs. So you got to make your own fun up. 6 minutes talking about tank balance. Now, fair enough. Some tanks got problems. Prot warrior tanks got problems. But Ian spoke about that for about 90 seconds and then spent about 4.5 minutes telling you how to tank. Telling you how to tank.
Oh, he has his own headphones.
Oh yeah, if another ad
That's
comes
good.
in, that tank, he wants to charge over there. He wants to charge over there, intercept that. He wants to take that. Oh really? Really? Please tell us more about tanking, Ian. Please tell us more. You are very knowledgeable about this topic. Oh,
okay.
Yeah, see, well, if there are multiple ads, you got to understand when to use your single target abilities, when to cleave. Sir, you had my attention. Now you have my curiosity. Or is it the other way around? You had my curiosity. Now you have my attention.
It's the other way around.
Had it all. So thank you, Ian, for telling us how to
It's the other way around.
We then spent 5 minutes on resto druids and healing balance in general.
I did turn it up a little bit.
Where Ian told people how to heal.
Okay.
Wow, you're saying shamans, they don't just do healing. They actually put 10% extra HP onto all targets. And that doesn't show up in healing. Oh, f*** off. Next! 4 minutes.
You guys want it louder, right?
Affliction, Unholy DKs, and Shadow Priest. I'm going to bundle you in there as well. Being shit. Next! 5 minutes about Warfronts. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. So, apparently, folks, Warfronts are fun.
Oh, okay.
And everyone thinks they're fun. So anybody here who doesn't think the Warfronts are boring, grinding, monotonous, not difficult, I know that. No, we're all wrong. Because Ian said that they were fun. Also, Ian said, despite loads of feedback to the contrary, but don't worry about evidence, Ian. He said that we received a lot of feedback about Warfronts and how fun they were.
Did he actually say that?
It was then that I realized that
I don't think that he actually said that or not.
Alien from V, and he's a lizard man.
Really? Yeah, I don't think he did.
Zip his skin and
maybe he did. I don't even know.
So Warfronts are fun. We're wrong, and loads of people are having fun. And the reason why they don't want people to be able to queue up as guilds is because if people queue up for guilds, they would go through the Warfront really quickly, and therefore the people having fun would have less fun collecting ore and knocking down trees for wood.
I actually thought that point that Ian had made sense.
And that's why that isn't in fact. But they are... I'm crossing all of this crap out. But they are talking about maybe doing something a bit more guild-centric for Warfronts. If it's not shoving a Warfront up your ass, I'm not interested. Anyway, my notes get a little bit thin now, folks. Some bollocks about trinket balance. Okay, fair enough. Done. Next segment. Something dark side. Next. Island Expeditions.
Okay.
Island Expeditions. I want to talk about this one. Ian said that Island Expeditions are always going to be about gathering Azurite. Mr. Hazakostas, sir, I have a question, sir. Why? Why can't Island Expeditions be adapted for other things? Why does it all have to be the same thing? Different location, same thing. Why can't Island Expeditions become places for gathering crafting materials for a much better profession system, which is to come in 8.2? What if it's a fun treasure island type of scenario, event, place where people can gather together, solve problems, and discover fat loots? No. Okay, it's about gathering Azurite armor. Next!
Okay.
We're all, and then the final two questions of the Q&A. Please, we've only got time for 2 more questions. So let's make these questions pertinent and prominent. So the first question: are we going to be able to search for Mythic Plus dungeons via key number?
That's the important thing to know.
People, but this is what the World of Warcraft is all about. And I'm glad that you addressed that, Ian. I mean, heaven forbid you actually could have put that in a third of a fucking tweet. But no, I'm glad that you and Douche McGee decided to address it in the Q&A. And the final question, and the question which actually turned the Q&A on its head and made everyone go, holy shit, they really are addressing issues head on.
Okay.
Was
I think we watched a different Q&A.
You have to complete the war campaign to get your 5th follower for the command table. It's hard for alts. Can you make it more friendly for
Well, at least now we know he didn't do this in 2 takes. Okay. Well, that's it? So, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like he might be a little bit, I think he might be a little bit pessimistic about it, in my opinion. I do think so, to an extent. But at the same time, I think that what he's saying does also kind of make a little bit of sense. And it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I mean, like, it's partially true. You know, like, what he's saying is kind of true. Like, obviously, they didn't answer the questions in the way that I think a lot of people wanted them to be answered and the questions that people wanted to answer. But overall, I didn't really think the Q&A was absolutely terrible either. I don't know. What do you guys think? Was he being unfair or not? He likes Final Fantasy too much? I don't think he plays Final Fantasy anymore, actually. I'm not sure. Maybe he plays it off stream or something. But as far as I know, he doesn't play it like on stream anymore. So I don't know if that's true. 370 people for normal deer? Well, why wouldn't you invite high item level people, right? I mean, it doesn't make any sense to, like, not invite people that are, like, really geared. So, like, I don't know. To me, I feel like... I think, like, yeah, he might be being a little bit too hard on him. But at the same time, I think it's good that he is being hard on them at the same time. Because, like, Blizzard... I don't know. I just feel like it's okay to, like... to criticize them, I guess. And it's good that he's in the community, even though, like, I might not necessarily agree with, like, every single thing that he's saying, I guess. Does that make sense? Yeah. Why do normal if everyone's already geared? Because heroic, they'll be able to trade more gear in normal, and not in heroic, so it wouldn't even work. Criticize everything. So what did you guys think about the Q&A? Like, just as a general sense, like, what did you guys think about the Q&A? Is it, like, a good thing or not? I'm gonna go down this way. No Shamas is okay. I didn't think it was terrible, but I did really like the idea that Ian was talking about the idea of a second level of Warfronts, like a heroic or a mythic Warfronts that you can queue into with a group. I thought that was fucking awesome. There were some things in the Q&A that were good, and I think that's something that needs to be acknowledged, that not everything about the Q&A was fucking terrible. Now, there were a lot of dumb things that people were talking about, absolutely, yeah. And Warfronts might be kind of boring for a lot of people, sure. But if you make a way for them to not be boring, then I think it'd be fine. So just because they're boring in their current iteration doesn't necessarily mean that they can't become something that's more interesting and more fun. So as an example, like, how fucking badass would it be if you could go in there with 20 of your boys, like a mythic raid, and you could go and clear, fucking, like, a Warfront once each time in the rotation with your guild and get a random 385 piece of gear. In my mind, I think that would be fucking amazing. Avoiding real questions just for the sake of society's... No, I mean, like, they do avoid questions. And I was actually, as I said, I was actually kind of surprised that they didn't answer my questions. I thought that they were going to. Nikes, you're getting removed. Sorry. I need to get another tank. I forgot I was cute as tank, but I suck, so I can't tank. Let's see. We'll just get this guy in here instead. Okay, perfect. Is there no, Q&A is mostly pointless because they never give an actual answer. He just says that's a fair question. We're looking at all the things. Well, I think one thing the Q&As do is that they give people, like, a way to get at least a partial understanding of Blizzard's logic. And that's really important in my mind. Giving people an understanding of their logic. Absolutely. You think that you do, but you don't. Yeah, I don't know, man. You need to repair your gear. I'll repair it. Actually, I'll just go repair it right now. That's a good idea. Yeah, I'll go do it right now. Ian makes some really good points, but people already have their mind made up. Well, that's the thing, right? Is like, so it's the difference between, like, perception or it's difference in, like, logic and emotion. Where Ian is very logical with what he's saying, but there's also, like, an emotional component to a game that's, like, you know, the video game element. And I think that's really what they're missing out on, is that they don't really have that emotional component that the game used to have. And if they had the emotional component, I think that would be fine. That's my perspective. Ian was a lawyer for like 15 years. I don't think he was a lawyer for that long, but I know he was like an attorney beforehand. I do understand that. Points he makes pertain to shit that doesn't matter. Well, I think that it does matter, like, if you want to look at, like, the overall philosophy of the game, but it's kind of hard to really, like, address that and bring that into, like, more of a micro level for each player. What's the add-on that sells junk called? It's called Sell Junk, actually. It's a great add-on. People shouldn't be punished for being flexible enough to enjoy different specs of the raid and run personal enjoyment. That probably is the biggest issue that I have with what they're saying. the idea that the Azerite gear should be locked to a spec. I just think that's bad. Like, the idea that you can compare that to like a trinket or something like that is, to me, it's just an added level of complexity, because you still have the specific trinkets, you still have the specific weapons, and now you're adding something else that's specific. So you're adding another barrier to entry in order to play another spec. And I don't like that. I think that's mainly the issue that I have. Did you have the Legion Legendary locked to a spec? Well, you did, yeah. And people didn't like that either, and they changed that. And they considered that a mistake. So that's what's concerning, is that they're basically rationalizing one mistake that they're making right now with something that they already admitted was a mistake in the past. So you can see why that's confusing. Old Earth 186. No, dude, trust me. Like, I'm actually